What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today, it is episode number 45. 45,
I think.
Episode number 45. College football week one reactions. We got a lot to dive into. Everett and I also just finished our fantasy football draft. So you guys are going to tell us who has the better team. We're only going to be going over our team. So we're only going to be doing it for like 5 minutes because nobody cares about other people's fantasy football teams.
Not really.
But yeah, that's what we got in the episode. It is Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time when I'm recording this. This episode's going up tomorrow morning. So I'm getting the shit done. I'm getting the shit done.
Plowing through it
episode,
tonight.
We're getting through this, but this should be shorter. If it's longer, then rip.
Like, this is what I'll say. I feel like absolute dog water right now. I also have to do some homework after this, and I need to go to sleep. I'm personally not trying to stay up super late. So this episode, on top of being short, I mean, that's another reason. But
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Everett. Yes, we are powering through this shit.
Through the pain.
Just got the draft done. We'll be over that later. But all right, let's get into the episode. Okay, first things first, we have to react to college football. There's no other way to start this episode. Then a week one reaction show. Everett, are there any games in particular that you want to bring up first?
Yeah, I got one. I got two technically, but I got one. So this weekend I went to the LSU FSU game. I live in New Orleans right now. So I was cheering for LSU. No other reason why I was cheering for LSU, just because I live in New Orleans. Just because I was living in New Orleans. Definitely just because I was living in New Orleans.
All right, definitely. Got it.
But so I mean, I'm gonna say 3/4 of the game was trash. Like, I thought it was a terrible game until about the last 5 minutes. Brian Kelly's time management and coaching skills are absolutely horrendous. I think that it's Jaden Daniels or Jason Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels, right? I think that he's not a good. Yeah. I think he's not a good quarterback. He consistently
he's really not. Well, their whole offense couldn't do shit, but also Florida State's front seven.
Here's the thing.
Absolutely.
Yes, but also Daniels consistently missed reads, wide open reads. Like, he had, I don't know who number 11 is.
Unfortunately, the way that ESPN was doing that game, the way they film it, you can't see downfield. So I don't know if the receivers were open or not.
I do. I was at the game and I had.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, God, these views suck. They should give us the all 22.
So here's the deal.
It's actually horrible.
Consistently, Jaden Daniels would read the field.
I also just feel like
completely. You gotta let me finish making my point, man.
Keep going.
No, but Jaden Daniels would read the field, completely missed wide open receivers, and then take off running for 2-3 yards. Like, he's a terrible. Like, he cannot read defenses. He cannot even do normal reads for offenses. He just runs. That's really all he does. And if a receiver happens to get open deep downfield or off onto one of the sidelines, he can dump it off. But
I agree with you. One of my favorite points was how the LSU fans like to say this is the best receiver in college football. Kayshon Boutte had, I think, like one catch for 7 yards the whole game. In the first half, there was a moment where he gave up on a play, didn't expect him to get the ball.
Hit him right in the numbers.
I don't think it hit him right in the numbers. I don't think the quarterback delivered an accurate throw like that, but he just gave up on a play, and the ball shouldn't have been thrown to him, to be fair. But I mean, it's just clearly Boutte did not give a shit about LSU at halfway through the game, and he confirmed that after the game by doing the new way of confirming that you hate your team, just taking them out of your bio. That's what Kayshon did after the LSU game, removed LSU Tigers from his Instagram, I think, and maybe Twitter also, but Instagram, that's the main one for him.
But first and foremost, the LSU special teams coordinator walked back to Baton Rouge. He did not catch the bus back.
Well, the thing is, I'm not even necessarily sure if it's special teams coordinator. That returner, Holy shit, dude.
Specifically him too, but also I understand that, but also
muff 2 punts, brother.
The blocked PAT and the blocked field goal both came from the exact same gap on the left side of.
That is true. That actually is true.
So that's a coaching thing. The returner sucks. They probably caught an Uber together back to Baton Rouge, but
the returner, I was like, dude, I would be.
I don't think you understand how the.
I would personally be in.
So I sat in the LSU section, right? And when we were like, I looked at my phone for a second. I'm like, you know what? It's a punt. It's a routine. Like they're just gonna wave it, right? Like dude, it's gonna be fair. It's gonna be fine. I looked at my phone and then I looked up and I saw the ball on the ground, and everybody's just at least the LSU section silent, and the rest of the FSU sections doing the stupid motherfucking tomahawk chop. So I mean, but like then of course FSU fumbles back, and from that point on, basically from that stop of that drive for like then the punt, then the like muff punt, then the fumble, like that's where the game got to become, I guess, like that's the identity of what a classic is, like classic finish, like that was that. But Brian Kelly can't manage time whatsoever. Like he burned time out.
Well, before we get to that, let's actually we'll start with that. Let's talk before even what's their face? Before Florida State was even in a position to ice the game when they were up. I think they were up 24-17 when they were driving right before they fumbled. Yeah. At that point, before that drive started, how exactly did LSU give the ball back?
3 and out.
Was it? I don't quite exactly, but my whole point is the LSU offense was completely stagnant until like they had to. It was very ironic.
Yeah.
The only time they had to score is when they did score. Of course, other than the PAT, they didn't score that one. But like when LSU was on their last line, like you need to score here, the game's done. Like
so for that PAT, by the way, for that PAT, like
and a lot of it was due to Florida State penalties.
We were all going nuts. We were all going nuts after we scored a touchdown.
Crazy! I thought it was
like
FT.
Crazy, right? Like 1 second left. Like don't know if we're even gonna get the second snap to play. You're told you snap play. It's one play for a touchdown. You get it. And I'm sitting there like I hugged a random LSU dude, no idea who he was. And then I go back and I just realized I'm like it's the PAT, and I literally look to my friend and I go, the game's not over yet. There is a PAT, like we have to kick the extra point. And I'm mid-sentence saying, as a Vikings fan, mid-sentence, because I was going to say as a Vikings fan, I know that the game's not over till after the PAT because we always miss field goals or extra points to lose the game. And I'm mid-sentence saying that when they snapped the ball and it got blocked.
Like I just feel like that ending was the most college football ending it could possibly be.
It's the first time in my entire life
it's the one sport where everything is unpredictable. No matter what you think is going to happen, that will never happen. So like this is the thing. When in the back of my mind, the second that Florida State fumbled on the goal line, I knew LSU was going to go down and score. That's just how the sport works. Like I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. Momentum shift.
But when that touchdown happens, you assume the PAT's going in. No, you dumbass. It's college football. You're never correct. There's always random shit. It's college.
This was the first time I've ever seen in my life in any football game that the game is lost on a missed PAT.
That was crazy. That's just the most college football ending
and
ever.
Also, keep in mind, this is the first college game since I was about 8 years old that I've been able to watch as a fan in the stands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess there's not many great college games out in Minnesota.
Actually, no. I've been to 3 college games as a fan. I went to UCLA when I was like 8. I went to a Gophers game like sophomore year of high school, and then I went to a Tulane game freshman year, but that was COVID.
Tulane doesn't really count.
I know, but it was still a COVID policy. So like,
but I'm saying like I get what you mean. Like that was an amazing game to go to, and we were texting back and forth near the end.
But
I was like, holy shit,
my
biggest game ever. I was on a bit of a delay, and then you just text back, "Fuck," and I'm like, what happened? and then I just see the block PAT. I'm like, no way you're at that shit. Like,
Yeah, no, dude, my heart was going so fast.
no, yeah, I just think after that game, my one thought is like Brian Kelly. That's not the start you want.
No, absolutely, dude.
When you go down to your new Southern family,
LSU's defense, by the way, could not stop a runaway toddler if it tried.
The thing about like FSU, that quarterback, extending plays when he made the jump pass, I was like, what are we doing here?
My friend went to high school with him.
Oh, there we go.
Played on the team together. He also played behind.
That guy. I liked him.
Like also, Florida State. My friend also played behind Kyer Elam, who's on the Bills now. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your friend's teammate, that guy, when he made that jump pass, I was sitting there like, what sport is this? Like, what did he just do? What did he just pull off? Like, I thought there were so many things going on. I think my takeaways from that game, horrible start for Brian Kelly, not the way you wanted to go. Even though you have a chance to get back into it in the game, your offense was so horrible to start the game. It doesn't even matter.
I'm not going to lie. After the first drive for LSU, I thought that their offense was going to be pretty good. It wasn't until the second drive when I realized that Jaden Daniels cannot make a read to save his life.
They couldn't run the ball. The Florida State they were playing Florida State. We'll see how they go up against the SEC West. Probably be a little tough.
Not well. It's not going to go well.
Probably be a little bit tougher for LSU, but yeah, you know what? That's all we got for that. Okay, next game I want to go over Oregon, Georgia. Georgia beats Oregon 49-3.
Honestly, though,
Bo Nix's debut.
Bo Nix is not good.
Yeah, Bo Nix is Bo Nix.
Nix is not good.
Bo Nix is the classic case of phenomenal name, great, like really high expectations, and the name elevates the expectations. Like Bo Nix.
He sounds like he would be a prodigy college football quarterback, but also like it's just one of those situations where like you're gifted this great name and you just squander it. There's always a couple of those.
No, yeah, but I'll be honest. My first big takeaway, like, wow, Georgia defense, Oregon offense. Bo Nix, 21 for 37, 173 yards passing.
Yeah, but here's my one thing about that. I don't think that Oregon's offense is going to be a good marker for what Georgia's defense is.
No. True. I think though that this is just a very impressive start. Oregon.
No, it is. But
last year they held Clemson to 3. This year they held Oregon to 3 in their opening game.
Once they start playing though better teams and in conference teams, that's going to be a bit of a different situation.
Of course,
Stetson Bennett. I mean, obviously, like he was good. I mean, he was good. I'll give him that. Better than Bo Nix at least, but I just still think that it's way too early to say that Georgia is going to be a commanding team this year. Obviously, they're going to be good. I expect them to. I mean, I think everybody expects them to make a bowl game. I would be surprised if they didn't at least get 6 wins. But
Freddie Freeman 2-run home run, Dodgers up 2-0.
But you know, I just don't think until we get a real test. It's like that similar thing with like USC where we were like, it's not like we can't say anything until they have a real test.
What? You don't think Rice is a real test? What?
Dude,
I know Rice is a good football team.
I know they were really putting in like it was a battle through and through versus Rice over the weekend, but yeah, I don't think that.
I'm sorry for bringing up USC. Don't mean to get you off track. We'll get into that in a second, but go on with Georgia. What do you think about that?
I just don't think that it's fair to say that they're going to be a great team yet.
No. I was just very impressed. 3 points for Oregon.
But what I also want to say is Bo Nix is one of those players who's incredibly hot and incredibly cold, and it all happens. It's one game at a time.
He's probably just not on schedule.
He has streaks in games where he could throw 5 picks and then they could still be in the game. And then 3 plays later, he does Russell Wilson, like just random Lamar Jackson stuff, spins, makes a defender miss and throws it 50 yards downfield for a touchdown to win the game. Like, I mean, it's just, he's just incredibly hot, incredibly cold.
Well, I'm not sure if Bo Nix is throwing 360s to like win games like that for Auburn. Quite like
no, but didn't he have a game last year for Auburn where he did some crazy scrambling thing? And
I couldn't tell you, could not tell you.
But
I just know he beat Alabama as a freshman.
Yeah,
which hey, that is a pretty big accomplishment. But after that, he didn't do much. But
was Alabama's quarterback then.
That's all we got on the Georgia defense. The breakdown from Everett. Thank you for leading that. Georgia offense, though. I'll be honest, Stetson Bennett. That was an impressive performance out of Stetson Bennett. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Stetson Bennett arguably had the best Heisman performance week 1. I mean, yeah. Who else?
Well, I'm trying to think of what any other quarterback like did phenomenally well. Caleb Williams wasn't bad.
Well, you can't count. Well, Stetson Bennett statistically did better than Caleb Williams and did against Oregon.
Same with Bryce Young. I didn't see Bryce Young's stats.
Utah State. You can't count. I don't even care what he did. I literally could not like that game against Oregon. Stetson Bennett has improved. I'm not saying he's winning the Heisman. I'm not saying he's even put himself in the top 10, but he has improved his stock the most out of anyone.
No, he has, but I do not see a world in which Stetson Bennett.
No. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I cannot believe that after week 1, Stetson Bennett has improved his stock in the Heisman race the most out of any quarterback or any player. He has. That's what I'm saying. I'll give that to Stetson Bennett. I'll give that to the Georgia offense. I was very impressed. They were moving the ball cleanly. And one thing I want to say about the Georgia offense that's just kind of unfair is their trio at tight end. I'm not sure if you were quite aware, but they probably have the 3 best tight ends like ever. So they got Brock Bowers, tight end, best tight end in the country.
6'7" tight end, or is that a joke?
Yeah, Darnell Washington, 6'7", 270. He made a catch on the sidelines. After he made the catch, he then hurdled a corner. He's 6'7", 270. And the funny thing is, he might not even be the second best tight end on the roster. They got another tight end, Eric Gilbert, who came from Florida, who is better.
Dude, Florida might be tight end you.
Georgia.
No, I know, but Florida originally, if he's originally from Florida, Florida might be.
No, it's Georgia.
I'm not saying this year. I'm saying overall.
It was just Kyle Pitts. That was it.
I was gonna say something, but I would have ended
poorly. Alabama, if anything's tight end,
I was gonna say something, but it would have ended poorly.
Okay, but no, I'll be honest. I'm impressed with the Georgia offense. That's a phenomenal way to start the season. So good start for Georgia. That's the way to start the season. Oregon, bad L for the Pac-12 in Oregon. Let's transition to another Pac-12 SEC matchup. Utah and Florida, AR-15, the Anthony Richardson show. Florida beats Utah by 3 points, hangs on in the swamp. Utah drops that early game, and this is my one thought about that. I don't really have I'm not like, obviously Anthony Richardson went off. I don't really have much opinion. This is my college football playoff outlook take. Okay.
All right.
Utah losing to Florida does not impact the Pac-12 championship race at all, but it impacts Utah's going to drop. Florida will probably be ranked. It'll boost the SEC. Pac-12 sucks, yada, yada, yada. But this is the thing. If, let's say, Utah beats USC, though, let's say if Utah beats USC, there's still a chance that Utah doesn't even make the playoff as a 12-1 Pac-12 championship. So USC or Utah, they need to win out to have a chance to get in. And that game against USC is in Utah. So there's no guarantees. There are no guarantees.
No, what I will say is, first and foremost, Utah lost themselves that game. Florida obviously played very well, but Utah's mistakes consistently brought down their ability to win.
I was not watching that game. I will be honest. I was locked into Ohio State.
And here's the other thing. I mean, I was working during this game, by the way. So here's the other thing.
Get a chance to really recap it either. I'll be honest,
but they were down 26-29, 5 seconds left. They were in the red zone on the goal line. Touchdown wins the game. Field goal ties the game, goes to OT. Their quarterback throws a pick on the last play of the game. He throws a pick into the end zone, Russell Wilson style, in the Super Bowl.
I did not know that.
To lose the game. So they were right there. They were able to win the game. It was in their reach, and play calling was not it. The decision making was not it. The quarterback throwing was not it. So it's their own mistakes. And if we're going based off of comparatively last year,
I wouldn't even blame that necessarily. Like the fact, I don't think they scored for like
they didn't. That's why I say their own mistakes are the reason why they lost that game. But if we look between,
I'm saying it's not only just that last.
No, drive. I know. But if we look at Utah and this season opener versus what we saw last year, what we expected this year, I don't think that it's the same team. I think that they look phenomenally worse than they did than the way that they played last year.
Worse.
Yeah, phenomenally worse.
I'm not sure yet. I think it is a very hostile environment to go into Florida.
No, it is. But so like
I think that's a very unfair. We're gonna see. I think Utah. Like I said, it's gonna be very tough for them to go undefeated. I think there's a very good chance that they go undefeated.
Look, I'm one of Utah's.
That Utah USC game that will determine so much this season.
No, I'm one of Utah's biggest proprietors. Like I think I said this on our TikTok. Like I thought that they were going to be a really good team this year. I said that they're being underrated. Now I still think
I'm giving them credit still.
I still think that I think that USC is a better team, but I think Utah's being underrated. I just think that they're not helping themselves after this week. And if I'm
Obviously
saying that,
no.
Right, and if I'm saying that I think that they look a lot worse than they did last year, I'm saying that because I firmly believe. I don't
necessarily think they looked like
you can't go into Florida. You can't go into Florida and not
lose. What do you mean? It's Florida.
I get
so
it.
Hard.
I get it, but also if you have aspirations to make the playoffs and you're playing
I know. I'm not saying
team, it doesn't matter.
Saying, but I will be honest though. That is one game that Utah could afford to drop. They do have to run the table.
It could, but if you look at the rest of their season, it doesn't really get any easier.
They do have a bit of an easy. It's just they have Oregon,
the teams that
on the road, Utah,
the teams
or
that they
USC
have to beat. The teams that they have to use, they play USC, Oregon, and don't they play Notre Dame this year? Who's that last team that was
it?
Oh, that
Florida,
was it.
Florida was the other.
Oh, USC has to play Notre Dame. That's what it is, right? Yeah. No, so I mean, it's possible, yeah, but dropping a game, especially week one.
Well, that's why I said preseason season. USC is a better shot. They only got two big games.
But Utah's got three. Did you also see, by the way, that Florida paid Utah $500,000 to have the game played in Florida?
Oh, really?
They paid Utah to have the game in Florida.
Who knows? Maybe if that game was in Utah, it could have gone differently, Everett.
I mean, it probably would have. Humidity's way different. Ambiance, fan base, way different. It's in your favor. Did you see how
not that bad of a loss? Would you say?
No. Did you see how packed that stadium was?
Yeah, it's the swamp. Urban Meyer literally said, like, "Hey, Ohio Stadium, the shoe's great and all, but nothing compares to an afternoon."
It was the most packed. It's the most packed Florida has been ever on
the swamp's crazy. Like I think that's crazy.
No, I mean yes, obviously playing in Florida and having.
If they were to get that win though, I'm happy they lost because Utah would be like the number 5 team right now. They'd probably jump Notre Dame.
How far down do you think Notre Dame's going?
Maybe even jump A&M too. Yeah.
Before we get into Notre Dame, Ohio State, because I know you're itching to talk.
Well, we'll say that for the end. I want to get into USC.
Let me just drop a little Tulane bit real quick.
Actually, yeah. Let's do Tulane first. Actually, tell me what happened in the game. I saw they smacked them. box score wise.
So Tulane versus UMass. UMass was ranked.
Actually, I had some Tulane questions. Keep going.
Tulane versus UMass. UMass was ranked the worst team in college football, I think, coming into the game.
Did not know that.
Cannot confirm that. I don't know if that was true. I just heard rumors about that.
Well, maybe you took a jab that was unwarranted, but hopefully you were correct. But go on.
But
because I'm not fact checking that when I post that on TikTok.
We beat them 42 to 10. Tulane. I mean, I think we looked great. I'm excited for next week.
They did 42-10. They obviously did.
Yeah. I would say any game that we get our backups into is pretty.
This is one question I had about that game, Everett. I was looking at the box score. You're gonna correct. They had 17 passing yards for the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So they're a running offense like Navy,
Army. So here's the deal. And
right?
we figured this out. We figured it out pretty early on. Or at least I did. I wasn't actively talking to but I figured out that they are a run first
Everett's
team.
actually the second-hand man to coach
I am the scout. I don't know if you ever read, there was this book in elementary school I read where it's like this kid is like a football prodigy, and the Falcons hired him to analyze every single play in game time. Like during the
Falcons hired a kid. Yeah, go figure. Makes a lot of sense.
But I mean, they are a run first team. They literally passed me, I don't know, maybe 5 times, and 2 of them were picks.
They passed 11 times, 3 interceptions, 4 completions.
They had 3 interceptions or 2.
4 for 11, 17 yards, 3 picks.
3 picks. Yeah. So they literally they did quarterback draws all the time. They had runs to the left side. They really couldn't do anything else. Like our interior, we were missing a couple people. So they're trying, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean also, keep going.
They were trying to utilize that aspect since we weren't retaining. Like, I guess our defensive line is a little bit different than last year. Clearly, it didn't work for them. So yeah.
No, I mean, I think we assumed Tulane was going to win that game. My one thing though, I remember hearing from an Ohio State receiver coach. It's interesting changing the preparation from like a heavy running style Army, Navy, I guess UMass Minutemen type offense to a normal team. However, Tulane has Alcorn State on the schedule next week.
Yeah, we play them on Saturday night.
So it's not that big of a concern of a turnaround from the mighty rushing UMass Minutemen. So not very concerned. But this is what I'm saying, Everett.
Here's the interesting thing, real quick, by the way. Interesting thing. We played UMass last week. We play Alcorn State next week. The third game of the season for us is at K-State, who have Deuce
That's
Vaughn,
what I wanted to get into.
who also are a prolifically run-heavy offense.
So I wanted to get in that into that in a second real quick. I'm checking if any of our boys.
Okay, which also
had one catch for 34.
As a general note,
Shea had a catch for 20.
Oh,
sorry, just had to shout out our boys real quick.
Shea had a catch for 20. Quan, by the way, should have had a touchdown. Should have had a touchdown. They call him down on the 1 yard line because he slid into the end zone off the 1. He also had a punt return for a touchdown. They called back due to holding. So,
well, when we start the website hashtag draft Jaquan Jackson, and we get that website and we get the domain and everything,
that handle going.
We're gonna get that going. Pardon my take. They started the hashtag draft Josh Allen or www.draftjoshallen.com. We're doing www.draftjaquanjackson.com. But okay, Kansas State. That was my big question.
Got you, bro.
So you just brought up the Deuce Vaughn heavy running attack. You think Tulane has a better shot of upsetting Kansas State on the road than they did with Ole Miss last year or Oklahoma last year?
You're asking me questions that I don't really have the answer to, nor do I know if I could answer. I don't know if I could answer that.
I expect you to just say yes, but
okay. I mean, yeah, like Oklahoma. Just last year was
no, they can't.
Last year was a very special situation given our circumstances. So I don't really think that you can compare last year's preparation and games to what this year's is going to be. I don't really think that that's a fair assessment. But I mean, I do think also if you look at it, if we look at K-State comparatively to Ole Miss or Houston or Cincinnati or Oklahoma, like these ranked team SMU or these ranked teams we played last year, because we had a slaughterhouse of ranked teams that we had to go through last year. I think
I'm thinking about it. You guys got Oklahoma, you guys got Ole Miss. That's tough.
I think
Cincy, it's a tough schedule.
SMU wasn't bad last year either. UCF, by the way, I think they were in there. I don't know if they were ranked. I don't think they were ranked, but I think that it's fair to say that K-State is not as good as Ole Miss or Oklahoma from last year. So do with that information as you want.
Hammer Tulane plus spread. But all right, okay. Quick USC Rice recap. I realize we're like 30 minutes into this right now, so we're gonna get over this real quick. So I just have one quick USC Rice takeaway. USC's run defense sucks ass. That's my only takeaway. They're not winning shit with that run defense. I don't care.
So is it their
D-line
or is it their linebackers? Is it their D-line?
The whole front seven, the interior D linemen, zero penetration. Linebackers aren't filling. That USC run defense, they're not going to a college football playoff with that. And I love the offense a lot. I liked how they got Jordan Addison. They want to target him a lot early and often. They ran the ball well too. Raleek Brown, freshman, he kind of came out on the scene, got some touches. Travis Dye, he didn't have many touches, but look, I thought their running was okay. I thought their pass blocking was phenomenal as well. Caleb Williams had all day to throw. I thought he had so much time, but it's the run defense, and that for me is a big problem.
I got a question for you. So if their run defense does not improve, do you feel like the offense cannot keep pace with a team?
Well, the thing is, I think their offense is still prolific enough for them to go to a playoff, but win a playoff game? No. They're not
it's going to be more like Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma, where once they get to that point,
it's kind of like Oklahoma 2.0 right now, just from that defense. But this is the thing, that offense was phenomenal, absolutely disgusting, and my boy Miller winning at the end too.
Did he actually?
Went 6 for 7, 81 yards. No touchdowns, but he looked great out there. Had a rush for 10 yards as well. But
you gotta get him on.
He looked good.
You gotta get him on.
All right, we're working on that. He looked good though. But I mean, the passing attack was great. Caleb went 19 for 22 on the day, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. So the passing offense is there, okay? But that run defense, it concerned me. Rice, 34 rushes, 146 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. They had a running back, 6 carries and 99 yards. We can't be doing that. It's Rice. I'm playing Rice.
No, like the thing that always bothers me.
Can't be doing that.
And I know that it bothers the players and the team more. But if you're playing a team that is not on your par, is not on your level, and you let them score more than 10 points, 17, like 13 points, whatever, depending on how much you score if your second strings are in. But if you let them run for almost the same or more than your pass for the same or more.
Oh, no. The 14 points were given up when the ones were on. So
see, now that is where
first
I would
have. They gave up 14 points in the first half to Rice.
That is not. Game is now tied against the Dodgers. The Padres and the Dodgers are now tied.
I thought they were playing the Giants.
No. Oh, they are. That was an SF, not an SD.
Also, fun fact. Thank God we're recording this tonight. Going to the Dodger game tomorrow. I'm so pumped. It'll probably be, if not the second to last baseball game I'll be going to this year. So I'm excited.
Hey, they make the World Series. You're not going?
Definitely not. But I'll go to the NLDS.
Yeah.
I always go, like, my brother and I, we've gone to the NLDS like the past like 3 years. Hasn't gone like amazing.
That goes
Hasn't gone like great the past like year. Well, 2020 we couldn't go, obviously. We went 18, 19, and then last year.
Quick little shout out I want to make, by the way, before you get to OS.
Yeah, we're about to get to Ohio State, but I'm done with USC, Bryce.
I'm an idiot and I forgot to upload our first inaugural segment to YouTube on Saturday. It was supposed to go up Saturday. It is now live as I'm recording this. I just uploaded it.
Oh,
go check it out on YouTube.
You're supposed to wait till 3 p.m. Can you unlist that and wait?
You can.
Please. This is not a good time to upload.
Okay.
Also, I want to go over we got to make the title like clickbaity and shit. We're going over this after. Okay, we're cutting this out. We're not going over this. We're recording a fucking podcast, Everett. Okay. Thank you for the shout out, though, but we're not doing this right now. Okay. Ohio State, Notre Dame. All right. I'm going to keep this short because I don't have notes for this. So my first reaction, we'll go with overall reaction. Okay. I know obviously offense, there were struggles there. And I'm going to more so answer your questions to that than just give my opinions on the offense. But first things first, that defense. Oh my God. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Okay, so Notre Dame scored a touchdown with, I think, 11 minutes left in the second quarter. They did not score a point for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Notre Dame was 3 for 13 on third down against Ohio State.
That game was still going when we finished, and I caught the end of it, and I was surprised, by the way. I knew it was going to be a close
game. Very surprising outcome.
I knew it was going to be a close game, at least in my opinion.
I thought it was going to be close, too.
I did not realize that it was going to be...
Also, everything I said was
10
wrong.
to 14.
Ohio State
I thought that it was going to...
And they did not win by double digits.
I thought that it was going to be a higher scoring game than... Was it 21 to 10 in the end? It was 21 to 10. I thought it was going to be a higher scoring than that, and I didn't think that it was going to be like a final touchdown to close the game kind of deal by Ohio State.
No, I did not think that was going to happen at all. So, okay, first things first, I want to talk about just how the start of the game went. I thought it was really interesting how how Notre Dame offense was getting going. So that first drive, it started off on a gimmicky play. Ohio State calls a cornerback blitz. Proctor misses a tackle on the receiver, Lorenzo Styles, Sonny Styles' older brother, misses a tackle, and Notre Dame breaks off a 55-yard play to open the drive, and then they also get a roughing the passer call. So they get that crazy yardage off of one play, but you take that play away, Everett, take away the 55 yards from that. The Notre Dame quarterback had 120 yards and they ran for 75 yards. If you take away that 50-yard play, Everett, 190 yards of offense. If you take away that gimmicky play, Everett, think about that. That's crazy. The thing is, this Ohio State team last year might have lost this game. And they might have lost this game by 10.
I will say it's 190 yards. So what was it, 240 in total?
So 177 passing, 76 rushing. So 250.
I honestly don't think that for what we thought Ohio State's offense was going to be, I don't think that that's that impressive.
No. This is Ohio State's defense and Notre Dame's offense.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about Ohio State's offense.
No, this is Notre Dame's offense. I'm saying if you take away that 50-yard pass, Notre Dame had 200 yards. That's crazy. Yeah. For Ohio State's defense, what we thought coming into this game, because I thought their defense, shout out Jim Knowles. I tweeted out, I think Ohio State's going to win this game 49-17. I obviously was wrong on the offense. But I thought the defense was going to do worse than my predictions, and they did better. And I'll take that. I will take that.
So don't want to rush the segment. But I do feel like
we're gonna be over in a sec. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I really had. If you had any, like on the offense, I thought it was interesting that you take out Trevion Henderson and they start actually moving the ball on offense. CJ was just off. JSN got hurt like early in like the second quarter. He's actually gonna be out until like week 4. Just keep that in mind. So rip the JSN Heisman case. That's over because he's going to be out for a couple weeks. But
you know what he did? Do you know what he did?
Jackson Smith.
Yeah.
Little hamstring thing. They said he's going to be out 1 to 2 weeks. If it were me, keep him out for 2 weeks. Bring him back week 4.
Are you done? Are you done with the Ohio State segment?
Yeah, that's all I had. I shout out the defense. That's all I got.
I have 3 quick things for college football, and then we can transition. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna end this in 25 minutes at 8:20.
1. They are making a documentary on the Florida Gators. Urban Meyer's.
Great timing, by the way. Phenomenal timing. It's almost like we're like onto something with this podcast. We got that. We got the Hornets. We're
on top of it.
Alexander Madison trade. You got yours in. Like we've been on it, Everett.
Well, I did start the did I say the 2008? What did I say? The 2008 Gators, something like that, right?
No, I'm saying that just came to fruition as well.
I know, dude. We are prophets on this show.
Predicting the future here. I also want to say, actually, while you have 2 more shout outs, I have 1. I want to respond to the people on the Clemson take. Okay, I misspoke when I said Trevor Lawrence got worse. Okay, what I meant to say is, for a quarterback of Trevor Lawrence's caliber, he did not improve season to season that you would expect a quarterback should improve. Okay, also, he did not have a leap. That obviously he's not Joe Burrow leap, but he did not improve what we thought he should have, is what I'm saying.
He won.
And DJ Uyunglele, if you look at Clemson right now, they fucking suck at offense. So
he won the chip. He won the chip his freshman year, right?
Sam, sorry, keep going.
Trevor Lawrence won the chip freshman year. So I would just say there's not really any possible way to go up from there unless you're increasing stat wise, which he did, but accolade wise and general play did not increase at all for Trevor Lawrence, really, in the rate that you thought he was going to. In comparison to Justin Fields, like Justin Fields got better at like
you saw leaps every year. And I'm saying like the Joe Burrow leap, it's unfair to say another player should make that leap, but I'm saying like other quarterbacks make jumps. Like there were no.
But also to clarify, I did cut that clip up. That was my clip that I cut of you talking, and I cut out the section where you stated that since they've gotten their quarterback coach that they have right now, which is from Trevor Lawrence's freshman year. So that's a detail that is missing.
Whatever. All right, it did better numbers wise. I don't care.
Yeah, we do like the numbers.
40K, Everett. Good fucking clip, Abby. Let's go.
Two other things real quick. We have the Florida Gators documentary with Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow. We're also getting a Johnny Football Netflix documentary.
Okay, now real quick, I kind of want to talk about that. I'm really excited for that. Okay, I really want to know what was going on with like his. So Manti Te'o, they dived into his family background.
Right. Yeah.
When I was playing high school football, one of my high school coaches brought up like a Johnny Manziel example of how he came from a quote. Like, did you just burn yourself, Sam? Yeah. My roommate just burned himself cooking over there, making stir fry. Goddamn. But
some stir fry.
My coach was explaining how Johnny Manziel, he came from good background, good family, had like financially was okay and stuff, and how that skewed him slightly in the wrong direction once he found immediate success. And I'm very curious. I want to know what was really happening post Heisman to the autograph Manziel money signs for his sophomore year. Like I want to know what was really going on, his family wise, like what was going on through that. Because when he won the Heisman, keep in mind, he won it over Manti Te'o. Great segue, documentary wise. But like, I want to know what really happened in that off season. what really changed in his mentality.
I know Johnny Manziel had a phenomenal season that year, but after watching the Manti tape,
I mean, I'd be on top of the world after being Bama.
No, I know, but after watching the Manti Te'o documentary, you just can't not want Manti Te'o to have won the Heisman.
No, yeah, you definitely wanted. Yeah, after watching that, I want him to win that.
You want him to win. Yeah, I want him to be back in the NFL.
So the thing is, so the year after that, also want to say this is the last in-game season of the college football NCAA 14 was Johnny Manziel post Heisman. So that year was Jameis Winston won the Heisman that year. Was famous Jameis last year of the BCS. Of course, NCAA stops the video game the year before the college football playoff when it could have been really lit and it would have been the Ohio State team with whatever.
But
I'm just really interested to see how that goes. But yeah, that's college football take. Okay. I think we're gonna skip. I think we're gonna skip the NBA and let's just do NFL.
Last thing.
I think we just skipped the NBA.
College football has announced that they are expanding to a 12-game playoff format. And I think Sam might have just burnt his entire hand or something. I don't know. Grant has muted himself.
Dude, I'm sorry. It smells so good right now in the fucking apartment, and I just had to know what was being cooked. But go on.
I just said that college football has announced they're expanding to a 12-team.
Oh my God! Holy shit! What am I? Okay, this might take the rest of the episode. We have an NFL preview coming out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. 12-team expansion. Everett, as an Ohio State fan and I guess a USC fan now, I'm kind of spoiled because I think both my teams will actually make the playoff every year. But as a Tulane fan, how do you feel now?
I'm a part of the team, bro.
How do you feel that now you don't like? If Tulane went undefeated, they would not have been in the playoff, is what I'm saying. So how does it feel that you actually have a shot now?
You know what I mean? Think is the way that they're working it is the conference winners for like the bigger conferences, they will be in the playoffs. Is that kind of the way they're working it?
4 of the 12 teams, there will be 4 first round buys.
Right, but the rest of them, like
4 best Power 5 conference winners.
Right, so theoretically speaking,
last year Georgia would have been a 5 seed.
Right. So theoretically speaking, the winner of the AAC would be in the playoffs. It would just be they have to play.
I'm pretty sure.
Right, like that's the way that it would work.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have
Pac-12 would probably be the same thing, unless it's
last year Cincy would have been in it, but they wouldn't have been a 1 through 4 seed.
Right, they probably would have been like 5, maybe 6. Right. So, I honestly think that
maybe even 7. Ohio State may have been over.
No, they would have been 6. You can't go undefeated and not. That's kind of disrespectful. They were ranked 4.
Oh, since he was undefeated, never
mind. But. Like I've been clamoring for a 12-team playoff or something like that. I think that especially for Tulane in the AAC, Houston's leaving, UCF's leaving, Cincinnati's leaving. I don't know if SMU's leaving. They might still be there, but like Tulane in a year or two when the conferences shift, we have a very good shot, I would say, if we continue on an upward trend. We don't have to play Houston. We don't have to play UCF. We don't have to play Cincinnati.
We play Houston this year, week 5.
No. I'm saying in a couple of years. It's not the 12-team playoff format is not starting this year.
It's starting at latest 2026, earliest 2024. My prediction, 2025, meet in the middle. That's where it'll start.
But so Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, they're all leaving the conference, and I think that happens 2025, maybe it's 2026. So
I know, yeah.
Whenever that happens, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying whenever that happens,
boys,
Tulane, we got to continue an upward trend, but if we do, we have a chance.
No, I love that shit. I like. As an Ohio State fan, I feel like I've had a very spoiled perspective.
Now look,
Tulane is now my 3rd favorite college football team
behind
USC. And now Tulane, I like my dogs. That's my athletic or American Athletic Conference team.
I know that some people they're like complaining about
wave.
Roll motherfucking wave. I know some people are complaining about the fact they're like, oh, well, like teams are just gonna get blown out or something. But you don't complain about that when it's March Madness. Like you go in there expecting you're like, I want to see the 15 seed beat the 2 seed this year. Like that's what you're. So I don't understand why people don't have that same mentality. Because in college football, like it can happen. It does happen a lot in the playoff setting. Some teams, if it's the same, let's say Tulane and Oklahoma are the same situation as last year. If that was a playoff game, doesn't even like I mean
the thing that like, I'm gonna be honest, like at the end of the day, I don't agree with that take entirely, but actually I kind of do because the semifinal games aren't even interesting. So screw it. Actually, I do agree with you.
Like I'm just saying, like
more teams to have a shot. We need
if
the fairness isn't going to be there recruiting wise, if you're going to let A&M pay millions of dollars to players to come every year, at least make more teams available to win a national championship every year. You have to make it fair somehow.
Am I saying that a team from like the AAC or MAC if MAC gets in, like Sunbelt, like if they get like, am I saying that they're going to be?
Well, don't disrespect the MAC like that, brother.
Am I saying that they're going to be?
Action's real.
Am I saying that they're going to beat a team from the SEC? No, but like the possibility is there. And if you have an underdog team, if you have a team,
and we're not saying just any team, we're talking like the champion of the conference.
We're talking about like they deserved, like they are the best team from their conference.
Like if you're 11-1 in a conference championship, you should be in this playoff.
Like you should get a chance. Like, are you gonna win? The odds obviously are not.
And
in your
also
favor.
this, like, yeah, keep going.
But
actually, keep going.
Should you get the chance? Yeah. If you win, do you deserve to be there? Obviously. If a team doesn't prepare well enough to play against a team that they think is inferior and they lose, that is entirely their fault. The other team deserves to be there. They can make a run. We've seen it in college basketball in the tournament. I mean, shit, like soccer relegation happens every year.
No, 100%. Okay, now this is the thing. So as an Ohio State fan, this is my one take on this. So there's going to be so many fans, a lot of Ohio State fans included. 4-2? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm about to tune into that after that. But okay. As an Ohio State fan, like there are a lot of times, or there were a lot of years where initially I'm like, we should have been in the playoffs, but I knew we were never going to win a championship that year. Like I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I would say last year, you could say 2018 with Haskins to a degree. 2017 with JT, nah, boys had a shot. 2016 we were in it, got smoked. 2015 should have been in it, but it's just more teams should have more opportunity. There should be more opportunities.
Also, the amount of money
to win a game,
and
they make more money, so there's no downside money wise.
Schools, the amount of money that's in it for those schools that could change programs, and on top of that, the amount of money that NCAA makes off of that, it would be dumb not to do that. Everybody would approve it. So
no. It's really smart monetarily wise, and also another thing I think of. Let's say Tulane makes a college football playoff.
Yeah.
And they're one of those 12 teams, Everett. Think of the recruiting boost.
No, that's why I said
give that.
The amount of money that team, that program would make, the recruiting boost, the notoriety that you get from being in the playoffs, that completely does a 180 for your program. If we look at Cincinnati and stuff when they started winning, do you know what recruits that they've been able to get since they started winning? The same thing with Houston. SMU when they turned their program around, even Tulane when we started going to bowl games, we went to 3 bowl games back to back to back to back. I guess back to back. We got better. We started getting better recruits then too. So, and I mean, obviously, once you start losing again, you'll start to lose those recruits. But it does make a 180 for those programs. You get those players in, and that allows you to compete against bigger teams.
No, yeah. So I'm saying overall, this is a great move for college football in general. It's a good thing that it's happening. Thank God it's finally improved and confirmed will come.
All right.
So that's what we got college football. Okay. We're going to finish this in 5 minutes, but last take, Everett. Literally.
All right.
I swear to God, if you say the NBA right now, we're gonna end the episode, but go on.
Water polo. No, I'm just joking. this is the biggest take that I wanted to say, and I tweeted this out last week. This is the NFL. It will be a teaser for our next episode when we actually talk about the NFL for the weekend. The fact that I think that it's absolutely hilarious how Eagles fans are so delirious that when Howie Roseman offloads one of his like shittiest draft picks ever, one of his biggest mistakes ever, and it's been multiple players at this point, they praise him for being a great GM and getting good players. But like, it's just because he's trying to save his job, dude. Like, he's not trying to like help the team. He's not trying to show that like he's learned or anything. If he didn't trade these players, get him off his team, he's gonna lose his job. Like, he doesn't care about being known as a good GM. He's not a good GM. In fact, he's made several very crappy decisions. So I don't know why.
So you're obviously referring to the Jalen Reagor trade. I think. So what are your thoughts on Jalen Reagor on the Vikings now, though?
Look, Jalen Reagor. No, Jalen Reagor is
KJ Osborne concerned about his position.
No, Jalen Reagor was specifically traded for his
punt on the way out.
His punt return abilities. He's not the greatest punt returner either. I don't know why the Vikings cut. They released their second-year wide receiver, who the Bears then picked up, by the way. So that's smart because he's about to be their wide receiver too and torch the Vikings this season. But that's why they picked up Jalen Reagor. I think I think him having gone anywhere probably would have made a difference. I think him being on the Vikings with Justin Jefferson, with Adam Thielen, with people that can mentor and help him, I think that he has a chance to obviously get better. He has potential. Obviously, he was a great player at TCU. So I'm excited to see how he turns out. Do I think that he's going to be a phenomenal player? Do I think that he's going to be a generational talent, be a bona fide starter? No.
Probably not.
But do I think that he could make an impact, certainly a better impact than he did with the Eagles? I think that is a possibility. And yeah,
I think there's a chance that he can definitely perform better in the Vikings system than the Eagles system. I wouldn't be surprised if he can get 600 yards this year.
If he starts to drop passes, I fully expect Vikings fans to all want to murder him. But time will tell. We'll see next week.
Yeah, we'll find out. But I don't want to edit this for too long, Everett. So can we wrap it?
You want to wrap it? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, everything. I don't really know. Maybe I don't know where I was going with that. But please make sure to like.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Rate us 5 stars. Like and subscribe. Favorite us. Download us. Share us. Share us on Facebook. Share us on Instagram. Share us on Twitter. Share us on MySpace. If you use that, share us on WhatsApp. That's what gets us numbies. Thank you guys so much for watching. And
Waterboys out.
Waterboys out.